The Red Dirt D&D podcast is brought to you by Pro Laser Cuts. The Oklahoma company provides pre-made and customizable design laser cut dice towers, tokens, and more, developed by a gamer for gamers, and now available to enhance your tabletop game. Pro Laser Cuts products can be found at many Oklahoma City area game stores, local events, and now available online at prolasercuts.com. That's laser and cuts with a Z, Pro Laser Cuts. And by SD Way Gaming, where dice goblins unite. Our friends at SD Way Gaming celebrate the beautiful dice players handpick for their games and splendor. SD Way Gaming has expanded to include many tabletop gaming varieties, accessories, and similar fun necessities to include a service for your dice addiction. You can shop for a variety of products at sdwaygaming.com or find SD Way Gaming on Facebook. Welcome to Red Dirt D&D. I'm Michael Cross, and I play Gaz, an orc barbarian, sworn protector of the Caliban frontier.
I'm Konnor Shenold. I play Konnor with a K, Kobold Sorcerer who is a continuous thorn in the Empire's side.
I'm Johnny Payne, and I play Zonimus Dinar, a paladin of dusk, using vengeance as a tool to protect the ones I love.
I'm Kiri Hester. I play Poppy Tea Leaf, the halfling desert druid determined to save the wild places from the ambitions of civilization.
I'm Brooke Bullock, and I play Mokran Stoneshaper, a young dwarf sorcerer finding his true family as revealed by the secrets of the frontier.
And I'm Ash King, your dungeon master. Join us now for Tales from the Caliban frontier. In the realm of Nightmare, you just survived an attack by the potential forces of the Mind Eater. Speaking with one another after scraping by the skin of your teeth, Konnor, you just had a thought about the child that you had seen before, that the black dragonborn had been chasing after.
What if those distorted dragonborns were after the kid and not necessarily us?
Oh man, in the same way that the mind dreamers or whatever we call those things made us see like our mums and stuff, then maybe it made us see a kid?
Maybe.
I think what Konnor is saying is that they were not after us. We were just in the way. And so they were taking on the child, but we just happened to get in the way. Maybe the Black Dragonborn are not our enemies here.
So the next time we see some Dragonborn, let's be a little bit more diplomatic instead of trying to attack them like you all are wont to do.
I agree, young Konnor.
Mokran looks very guilty.
All right.
Let the record show those last ones attacked us. We did just defend ourselves. We weren't actively attacking them when they busted in the room.
Yes. But next time, let's try and see why they're here, if we can.
There weren't anything special, like there weren't any collars or nothing around them, like they weren't being mind controlled like the ones at the Mesa. I didn't notice that. Did anyone notice that?
I didn't notice that.
No, they're being manipulated by the darkness of this
power,
place.
the psychic.
That is a slow, creeping kind of darkness.
Yeah.
We'll try it your way once.
All right.
I think once is all we'll need.
Everybody rested up?
I think we are ready to go. Can I get is it double doors maybe? Can we get the cart inside the house?
Let me put it this way. The doorway itself is wide enough, but there isn't any actual, doors that I can shut.
I just want it inside so it's not obvious. You go decrepit. Oh, look, a brand new cart with a whole bunch of stuff.
Spanking cart with a whole bunch of free stuff.
I could just kind of hide it into a place and throw some stuff.
Yeah, I would say that you could do that.
But that's all I want to do. And I go over to Cal and I say, boy, we cannot take you in. So watch over Thistle and Buttercup, correct? All right. Are you sure about those names?
Well, yeah, that's what we've always called them.
Although I guess I could have at some point in time in this journey asked them what the names are. We've just been calling them Thistle and Buttercup.
All right.
I think those are nice names. What you got against them names?
I think they are lovely names. Cal, please watch over Thistle and Buttercup and make sure that everyone is safe. I will be back if I can.
With a number of hours of rest under your belts, equivalent, therefore, of a long rest. Because that's the other thing, is that it's hard to tell where one day starts and the other ends here. You set out, heading towards the ziggurat.
We should keep close to the buildings and try to just kind of stealth this way in.
Let the record show Wildfire is coming with us.
Okay.
And I stocked some helpful things, like find traps and pass without trace. However, I also, as we approach, I have a thing. Moving through non-magical, difficult terrain costs you no extra movement. But I assume that this mud and these vines are magical? Because I can also pass through non-magical plants without being slowed and without taking damage if they have thorns, spines, or a similar hazard. And I have advantage on saving throws against plants that are magically created or manipulated. Because I'm a plant lady. So that can just be something that you have in your brain as we approach.
Yeah, for you, it doesn't seem to have as much of an effect.
So you would think it would be super difficult because I'm small, but it's only regular difficult because I am small druid.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult for your companions, but for you, you're having an easier time of navigating through all of this, making your way through the thorns and brambles that surround Nightmare's ziggurat. Almost a bit like barbed wire in no man's land. You come to the steps and begin the slow ascent to the top of the pyramid.
Muckrin skin.
Stony just up.
It will last as long as I am conscious.
Let me spend
like all day.
my spell slot to give myself
Like
dark
Armor.
vision so I can see.
Do we want to be stealthy as we go up the steps, or do we want to wait until we enter into the ziggurat?
I think through here, the less that we're noticed, probably the better. We don't know what other kind of minions this Mind Eater has.
And if we are going to be silent, Poppy, do you think there is a spell, or do you want to save it until later?
We can do whatever we need to do. I've got a few spell slots.
The trek up the steps of the pyramid.
Malcolm would like to have some active stone cunning going for, like, you know, secret doors, entrances, weird construction, unsafe things.
I got bad news, guys.
18 stealth.
17.
Oh, stealth? Okay. Sorry. 12. I just
you
never
get?
seen stonework quite like
25.
this. It's all weird.
Okay, what did you get, Puffy? 5?
5.
Makrin?
12.
17. Yes, 17. Connor?
18.
18. 25. So as you're heading up these steps, Gaz, Connor, and Zonimus, the three of you are kind of managing to stay low, find little places to kind of like tuck into and hide every so often. Because that's the thing too, is that this place, it has that whole, you know, you could see for miles because it's the highest point and there's not a lot of cover. Makrin and Poppy, however, two forms, swoop. It's a pair of those same dragonborn creatures.
Well, that's just not very nice.
And with advantage because they're coming out of their own stealth, which none of you managed to notice them hiding in the cloud cover. So with advantage, Poppy, modified 20?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you get scooped up off of Wildfire. Makrin. The other one swooping down attempts to grab you, like up under the arms. But sturdy dwarven construction, yeah, it cannot get a grip on you. But Poppy, you are...
I know we're kind of in like a non-initiative initiative.
We're not really in initiative right now because this is basically a surprise round, but we could go into initiative if y'all would like.
We may have to.
We may not have to.
Remember, I said diplomacy. Talk
You
first.
have been swooped like a small field mouse. Do you all like to roll initiative?
16.
16 for Gaz. Makrin?
11.
11. Poppy.
16!
16!
16 also for Gaz, so
Plus 3.
You're going first.
All right. So it is the black dragonborn creatures. So the one that has grabbed you, Poppy, is basically going to maintain its grapple on you and is flying towards the top of the ziggurat. And the temple is 100 feet tall. What I will say is y'all were about halfway up, so about 50 feet up, 50 feet to go. And if my black dragonborn dashes, it will manage to get to the upper terrace. And it takes you up there, lands, but does not let you go. And that'll be it for that one's turn. The other one, seeing you, Makrin, swooped down and has landed in front of you, is going to attempt to cast darkness around your party, centering it in the middle of the group to catch as many of you in the 15-foot range as possible.
Yeah, I think Mokrin's gonna spend a counterspell.
Okay, so you react to counterspell.
Yeah, I think
The
so.
beast screeches in annoyance and having its ability countered, and that will be it for the second beastie.
And we don't want no trouble, just hold on.
Konnor.
Okay, stepping out of stealth, the one that has Poppy, he's just holding her. He doesn't seem aggressive or anything like that, right?
At this point, he has Poppy held in his grip.
Okay, so to the one by Mokrin, Mokrin sees Konnor in a very familiar move, touch his snout and point, but the point doesn't go to Mokrin. The point goes to the Dragonborn. Message. To the Dragonborn in Draconic, I'm going to say, we come in peace. We don't mean any harm. We want to help Nightmare. And it can reply in a whisper that only I can hear.
Proof.
With Mokrin and the Dragonborn probably being so close together, it probably does look like I'm pointing at Mokrin, but Mokrin's not hearing anything.
Konnor, I don't think it worked. I couldn't hear you. This thing might have some type of anti-magic.
Going to say a very well-known phrase in Draconic that only it would know. Those of the mighty 11 stand together.
As you say this, the creature squares up his shoulders. Together we stand, together we fall. And speaking aloud in, again, this corrupted Draconic, gestures its snout to the others. Friends or foes?
Friends, I say aloud in Draconic.
Yeah, but you're the only one who speaks Draconic.
If I can jump in.
Technically, we're still in initiative,
Okay.
because just because Konnor did that doesn't mean that y'all don't have your own thoughts about what's going on. You've heard them kind of speak to one another, but you don't know what they're saying. Poppy, it would be your turn, as you are still being grappled by.
But we landed, right?
You
Okay,
have
so I'm
landed.
just gonna kind of like wiggle a little bit and be like, you know, you can put me down. I'm not gonna hurt you unless you hurt me first. I don't know if you understand a word I'm saying, but I'm hoping that at least my nice friendly tone comes across. My name is Poppy. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for making me not have to walk up all them stairs. I am a friend of Nightmare. I have seen his altar and left my fears upon it. Can I get my Rocky Talkie?
No.
But we're on top, but we're still outside? Mm-hmm. Okay, as loud as my tiny lungs can muster. I'm fine! Just trust me! That's my turn, so I'm doing.
Gaz.
Gaz takes all of his movement to run up the steps, plus as orc, I get a bonus action to move up to my speed toward an enemy of choice that I can see or hear. So I'm going to move all the way up, is basically a bonus action dash, to get all the way up the steps, having heard what Konnor said, the phrase that he used. Because you said that, you did say the phrase out loud.
The only things that you guys heard was in Draconic, the Black Dragonborn asked a question of Konnor, and Konnor responded, and that is it.
But I heard the response.
In Draconic.
Thank you. That's all I needed. I'm going to run up there. I'm going to repeat whatever it is he said that seemed to stop the battle. And I am not even going to have my weapons out. I will have my shield still, but I am unarmed.
You run by, and you run up to the second one that's holding Poppy, and it like kind of takes a step back. With your friend, the claws are kind of at her neck, just like a one wrong move, and the halfling gets it.
Hands up. That's my turn.
Okie dokie. Zonimus.
When the gesturing is going around of what about them, am I gestured at? Or does he know I'm there? 25 stealth.
25 stealth? No, you were one of the ones that wasn't spotted.
Okay.
Because it was Mokrin and Poppy who were spotted. The rest of you weren't spotted until you popped out. So.
I'm going to, no weapons in my hand.
Okay.
Take the sword. I haven't popped anything since then. Step out of whatever it is I'm hiding behind. I'm going to pull my hood back, and I'm going to shrug the cloak off my shoulders so it's just straight behind me. And I'm going to take a step past Konnor to the one that Connor's talking to and give that same proud shoulders up stance. I don't know what the conversation was, but I know that stance, and I'm going to meet it.
The creature gives you a once-over growl of warning in the throat, and it's that back off. But that's all for you.
That is all.
Okie dokie. Makron.
Makron steps in between Zonimus and Konnor and puts like a hand on each one of their forearms and then says, "We've been at one of them temples before. We think we can help your guy." He says it in common.
Is that all?
And that's all, yeah.
All right, on the upper terrace. I'm going to have something hold its turn. But it's back to my 2 black dragonborn. The one that currently has Poppy. It takes a couple steps back from you, Gaz, recognizing that technically it still kind of has the advantage given that it has your friend. But its tail lashes a bit as it stares you down. Okay. And yeah, as it looks at you, it hisses. It's that sound of back off. And it just has hold of Poppy. Very slowly, it does like set you down so that way you're on your feet, but one clawed hand is on your shoulder, holding you. Basically, it recognizes that it has a bargaining chip. You feel this clawed hand just on your shoulder. You know, very close to some vital veins, but otherwise it doesn't do anything. The one down on the steps looks to you, Konnor, and in Draconic. Who are you? You are outsiders. How did you come here?
Also in Draconic, we had a god intervene and brought us here. Sneaky Coyote.
It has been eons since we have had any contact from the outside world, even from those as powerful as the gods.
I think Sneaky Coyote sent us here to be of help. I don't know in what way, but if we could get to Nightmare somehow, perhaps we could be of help.
I will allow his lordship to decide your fate.
Very well. And then in common, I turn to Makron and Zonimus, and I say, it seems like a tentative truce. I think we're good. We can get into the ziggurat without any hassle, as long as we aren't hostile towards them. They won't be hostile towards us.
Poppy.
I'll glance up at the top of the ziggurat and see how the other Dragonborn has a hold on Poppy, and I'll turn to the other one and also in Draconic say, she's a friend too.
You and yours will be safe until his lordship decides what to do with you.
And then I'll turn back to Makron and Zonimus and say again in common, I think he's going to lead us to Nightmare. We just have to see how Nightmare's doing and prove that we can be of some help.
You better be right.
I know I'm right.
So, if you all stand down, the Black Dragonborn will lead you up the steps to the upper terrace, turns to its companion. The one that you'd been speaking with, Konnor, gives a nod, and the other lets go and kind of pushes you forward a little bit to go rejoin your companions.
Specifically, I will give Zonimus a pat, make sure that Wildfire knows that I'm okay.
And then when we rejoin with Poppy and Gaz, I'm going to fill them in on what I also had told Zonimus and Makron.
I don't think they understand common very well, because I talked to him, but he didn't seem to understand what I was saying. But I did try, let the record show, Konnor, I tried diplomacy. I said I've been to the Temple of Nightmare and laid my fears upon his altar, but he didn't care.
Oh yeah, that's really good. Like we had to do that to get into the inner sanctum. We had to release our fears.
I mean, we didn't have to, oh, well, we did do that. But I remember I gave her the picture of my mom.
Maybe keep what happened there on the down low.
I remember there was a well that told me to let go of my fears, and I dove into it.
Yeah, that's the thing I was thinking of
It seemed
too.
like ages ago.
All of you actually notice there's a small black kobold on the top of this terrace. It's a pretty big space. It's about 40 by 40. This black kobold peeks its head out of this central, you might call it like a guard shack, basically at the top here, and it like pokes its head out to the two big dragonborn. And Konnor, you can hear them speaking because it's a corrupted form of Draconic, and maybe even an ancient dialect of Draconic, but it's still enough that you get the gist. What's going on here? Why aren't we tossing them off the side of the tower? They could be agents of the enemy. We will let his lordship decide. You are taking them to his lordship? Yes. So, the two Dragonborn motion you all to come forward. This small black kobold with these acid green markings eyeing you all very suspiciously. But they lead you all into this center space, and the kobold has a staff that it knocks twice on the ground, and you hear a rumbling of machinery as the platform begins to descend.
Greetings and salutations, my friends. I'm Michael Cross. So great to have a moment to talk with you during this mid-show break. First off, I want to invite you all to join us as Patreon members. The money we raise helps us pay for things like the music and sound effects you hear on the show, as well as money to go to events and make new fans. When you become a Patreon member, you get our episodes 4 days early, bonus content, access to our Discord server, and full versions of our roundtable discussions. You'll be joining other fans like Scott Wise, Don Mills, Heath Mormon, and the Lady Kate. So join us right now at patreon.com/reddirtdnd. Another way to support us is by getting your very own Red Dirt merchandise. You can find things like hats, hoodies, mugs, and t-shirts. Just click on the merch tab at reddirtdnd.com or reddirtrpg.com. Since 2020, the Red Dirt D&D podcast has been close to another Oklahoma actual play Dungeons & Dragons podcast, D20 to Curtain. And me personally, I've had a chance to work on stage with some of the actors on the show. So when you get done with this episode, you should check them out.
Hello, fellow D&Ders. My name is Jerome.
I'm Jennifer.
I'm Jody.
And together with our friends Kara, Timothy, and Jared, we are the cast of the D20 to Curtain podcast, where Oklahoma theater geeks and their friends hit record and explore our new addiction to Dungeons & Dragons.
We think D&D is more than just a game. It helps us tap into the enduring power of storytelling.
We combine live gameplay with behind-the-curtain episodes to share our experiences, insights, habits, discoveries, and passion for D&D with anyone who will listen.
We hope D20 to Curtain will make you laugh, cry, maybe even make your experience at your table even more satisfying. Check us out anywhere you listen to podcasts, or visit us at d20tocurtain.com or at D20 to Curtain on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
We look forward to having you. All we ask is that you have fun, be kind, and play the role.
If you're looking for more content, make sure to check out our YouTube page with Mysteries of Beatrix live every Wednesday. Keys from the Golden Vault from the Red Dirt Outlaws dropping every Tuesday at noon, and Plausible Deniability every other Thursday at 7 p.m. So come check it out at youtube.com/@RedDirtRPG or search for Red Dirt RPG on YouTube. And we would love to hear from you. Find us on social media at Red Dirt RPG. You can also get in touch with us through our website at reddirtrpg.com. In the meantime, make sure and subscribe to this podcast and leave a comment on your favorite podcatcher so others can find us. All right, I think that's everything I need to tell you. Right now, let's head back to Red Dirt D&D.
You all have been given a unique opportunity, the chance to meet with Nightmare himself, an ancient dragon that no one has had contact with in 6,000 years. The platform comes to a stop, and the two Dragonborn lead you out. Around you, you see treasure, the remains of tribute. Some of the coins seem to shift and move of their own accord, but from a word from the guards, it stills and goes silent. The kobold remains behind, tapping the staff once more on the platform to raise it up, preventing your escape, should your words prove false. And the two Dragonborn take you to a staircase that leads down to another level. This level holds a strangely familiar sight to some of you. In the very center of this large 60-foot by 60-foot room, a well, deep, dark, the water cool to the touch. Extending around the base of the well, Draconic runes.
We have two put aside our fear and take the dive. Look over at Makrin and Poppy. You remember?
Yes, but do you remember the part where I can't swim?
By the forge, it's just like last
You
time.
made it last time, didn't you?
I turned into a crab last time. I don't know if these guys are going to be excited if I do magic.
Makrin wants to check it for some of the runic teleportation symbols that he now knows, and just see if there's, if that's what's happening with this.
Sure.
Modified 18?
The magic seems similar.
Okay.
If one of the Dragonborns wants to, hold on to me, that would be great. I just can't swim, so if they don't want me to drown, they're going to have to either let me do magic or they're going to have to carry me.
The Dragonborns came in here with us?
Mm-hmm.
Konnor, you are the only one that can speak to them.
I'll turn to the Dragonborn. Are you coming with us, or is this something we need to do ourselves?
We will be right behind you.
Okay, I'll point to Poppy. This one can't swim. Anyone want to volunteer to help her?
They both look at you with just that incredulous, you don't swim? How could somebody not swim?
I was a lady. It wasn't something we were ever taught. It doesn't make sense because I come from a shipping family and I've spent time on ships, but there was a life preserver situation.
And now she's on, just chattering away.
I don't, as a halfling, need to know how to swim because I can just turn into crabs or sharks or things that know how to swim.
Why aren't you doing that in this situation?
Because I didn't want them to be mad at me for using magic.
Right. She either needs your help or she also has an ability to take other forms, and she wants to know if that would be okay.
Yes.
Okay, Poppy, in common. They said it's fine.
Okay, I will turn into... Let's make a frog this time. So I can do air and water.
That.
Yeah, so I turn into a very cute blonde frog.
So, Zonimus, I believe you must lead us. Or should we let Konnor go first?
I have to do this. And I will go stand on the edge and look in and see my reflection and start digging for the fears that I'm going to let go of. And I find it harder this time to find those fears, to find as many of them as it was the first time I stood before this similar pool. But I definitely find one, and I let it go, and I go in.
All right. You dive in. This water is colder, darker, seeps into your bones, leaching out any warmth that was once there. It's hungrier than before, but much the same. You dive down deep, deep, deep. And when you resurface, you find yourself in a large, dark cavern. What of the rest of you?
I'll go next. Is there a lip around this thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll kind of climb up on top of it, and knowing what I know, and then also hearing Zonimus talking about letting fears go, I bring forth the fears that I have, and a new one pops up in the forefront, and he doesn't want to think about it at first. And then he brushes it away, but then he's like, no, it's about accepting and letting go. And so he thinks about the sphere, and he contemplates it, and then eventually is able to let go. The fear of those new colors that the Empire has, that were able to control the minds of the kobolds and the dragonborns that were inside the mesa, and how Konnor never wants that to happen to him. And he lets the fear go and dives in.
Makrin, you must go next.
All right, I'm on it. I get up and sit on the lip of it, and then Makrin just falls backwards, scuba dive for kind of style off the back of the boat. And as he goes, he's thinking, please, oh please, don't let this place rip us apart. I'm really afraid of what I saw between Zonimus and Konnor.
We still have the black dragonborn there as well. They're coming behind us, I'm guessing.
As well as, Poppy Frog.
Oh, Poppy Frog hasn't gone in.
Well, I was actually going to ask before I turned into a frog. We have wildfire, and I keep forgetting about him. I guess I'll use the spell to polymorph him into a frog, and I put him up on the rim of the well, and then I'm going to sit on the rim of the well and say, now Wildfire, you stay by me. Hopefully Frog Wildfire understands this, and I will also turn into a frog, and I will jump into the water, and then I feel kind of like in a nightmare chasing after the thing that you want, but you can't swim fast enough because Zonimus is so far ahead of me, and I think about the things that are behind, and I think about, I have like a recurring nightmare kind of flash before my eyes where I am back in the corset, and it's not just any corset, it's a white corset, and I'm walking forward towards something, and it's hazy at first, but as I get closer, I see Zonimus, but he's not directly in front of me. He's off to the side, and directly in front of me is Byron. And this is how it's gonna be, and I swim to Byron in the straightforward nature, and I let go of my fears.
I actually pull out my meat skin, and I take a drink of it, and I offer it to them. I say, "This is from the Caliban."
Drink.
Yes.
Nod. Pass it. Drink. Nod. They keep it.
Excellent. That is true friendship. And then I will go up on top and say, as long as I remember my fears, and as long as there are no spiders, I should be fine. And I dive in.
All right. After Gaz, the two black dragonborn splash gracefully into the well, their sleek forms allowing them to swim quickly down deep into the darkness. And you all come up on the other side in a large cavern, dank, damp, sound of water dripping somewhere. The dragonborn guards step forward, the one that you had spoken with, Konnor, calling out, "Lord! Great One! We bring outsiders for your judgment." In the darkness of the cavern, you hear something disturbing the water's surface ahead of you. You realize that here there is also a massive underground lake, its shores lapping against your feet, and something breaks the water, something large, massive. You see the shine of the eyes first. Acid green, the hiss, something large as it shifts in the water, slowly coming to shore. Droplets hitting your face as huge wings snap open and then rest back. Before you, in all of his might, all of his glory, Nightmare, the terrible black, intelligent eyes wash over you all. Well then, what have we here? An orc, a dwarf, halfling, mixed elven orc, and a kobold. Speak. And he does speak in common.
Great, wise, powerful Nightmare. You do not know me, but I feel like we have met before. I have stood in the walls of your temple.
It still stands.
It still stands, protected and honored by your kin. We've all stood inside those walls. The story of how we got here is beneath you. The story we have to tell will greatly interest you.
Yes, I do need to know why you destroyed a contingent of my army. Right when they had the beast in their grasp!
Turn away as he shouts, and when he calms, I turn back to him. The beast?
Yes.
Aldonza?
That name, I do not know that name. I cannot know that name. No, boy. The beast. The reason I am trapped here and have been trapped here so long. The Mind Eater.
Lord Nightmare, we did not understand the deception of the beast. Please forgive our ignorance. There is a greater matter that we need to discuss with you, but I see that right now, of utmost importance, is the beast still recoverable?
It is a constant game of cat and mouse. We find it, and we trap it, and then at the very last moment, it slips through our fingers like so much smoke.
How many times have you done this?
More times than even a dragon can count.
Every time you catch it, it slips through, and you lose it again. Lord Nightmare, we need to get you out of here. This place is wreaking havoc on your mind.
My mind was being wreaked havoc upon before I even came here, boy.
If I may.
Yes.
Great Nightmare. It sounds like for thousands of years, you have been in a stalemate with this Mind Eater. You need something to unbalance the scales. We are those who will tip it in your favor if you will give us that chance.
We had forgotten the bravery of the orcs, foolhardy rushing into danger. We will allow you one chance. Find it, trap it, bring it here.
Red Dirt D&D, Tales from the Caliban Frontier, is Ash King as our Dungeon Master, Brooke Bullock as Mokran Stone Shaper, Johnny Payne as Zonimus Dinar, Kiri Hester as Poppy Tealeaf, Konnor Shenold as Konnor the Kobold, and I'm Michael Cross as Gaz. Special thanks to our Silver Star Paladin patron, Shenanigans Unplugged. Our theme music was created by the Cinemagician P.J. Castillo. Our incidental music comes from Jeffrey McBride. Our sound effects and additional music, courtesy of TabletopAudio.com, Sirenscape, and Monument Studios. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and at RedDirtDND.com. We here at Red Dirt D&D could really use your help in getting the word about us. If you like what you've heard, make sure and subscribe, rate us, and leave a comment. Also, tell your friends about Red Dirt D&D. You can also support the show at patreon.com/RedDirtDND. We have several giving levels to help us grow up big and strong. Join us next time as we go deeper into the Caliban Frontier.
You dropped the cliffhanger on the last episode, so therefore you get to bring us in on this episode.
Yes, but I'm not used to doing that.
The floor is yours.
The floor is yours.
Because I'm a plant lady. Which makes me very sad because I have one of my office plants at school died. And it was a cactus.
Oh no.
I think I watered it too much. I loved it too much.
Your love killed it.
Maybe if we get out of all of this, if we end up near the pillars, maybe we should all go into the last stop, do a little laundry.
We all want to be stealthy. We all want to be very, very quiet. And Poppy goes, "What?"
Now, Wildfire, don't be scared. It's okay. Well, howdy. We would like to be your friend, please.
And is flying towards the top of the ziggurat.
Good, I didn't want to use the stairs anyway.
I'm trying to decide how high this ziggurat should be. To the Google.
Googling how high is a ziggurat.
How high is a ziggurat?
As I repeat that phrase.
Which hopefully is not your mother smells.
Yeah.
But he didn't seem to be aggressive. That's why I'm thinking that was a friendly word.
100%.
Kill them all.
That's what love is like.
Pause for a second and then kill them.
Make it seem like we're cool and then go.
It's a lot for one word. A lot of connotation.
Oh yeah, a very economical language when it comes to orders.
He's just taking you out on a date.
Oh, now he's a dead man.
Konnor, you are the only one that can speak to them.
All right. Are you
And tell them dwarves sink like rocks, but that's okay because we won't go down.
okay? Yeah, I'll.
And
I'll
tell them
leave
the thing
it.
about Poppy.
And if you can get our stuff back, get that.
That's exactly
it. Yes.
Sorry.
You just like, it's your time, and we want you to, and then we just keep, because we love
Then we
you.
pull out Return of the Jedi.
I love how
would
Poppy
think-
just knows the look and says in
The
common.
only word that doesn't translate is swim. So you hear swim in common. Play 'em.
All her life, people look at her going, you don't know how to swim.
So she knows the look.
I know. For a brief second, I don't understand it, but I fear French people and butter. And then,
And you know the answer to the age-old question. Yes, your ass is watertight.
Makrin picks up one of the frogs and says, "Don't worry, Poppy, I got you," and starts walking along with Wildfire.
As it starts licking your face.
Margaret, honey, you've got
What? Or you
wildfire.
can talk, huh? Oh, sorry, buddy. And I put Wildfire down.
And I will poof him back into Wolfie.
Wildfire's been having some weird times lately. He's
Right.
got turned into an armadillo.
This is not.
Now he's been turned into a frog.
If Peter knew what we were doing.
Listen, he didn't. Dogs can't climb ladders and they can't swim under tubes. So it's just it. That's just life with Poppy.
It's life with Poppy. Wildfire is
yourself.
severely regretting his decisions to come along.
Tune in next Wednesday for the first episode of Life with Poppy. Great, wise nightmare. You do not know me, but I feel like we have already met. I don't know what this accent is. I'm in total What's a Manadorf and an elf doing in the Rittermark. So I'm in that.
It's also Carrie Fisher on the bridge of the
Governor Tarkin.
Yes.
Great. Damn it, Poppy.
Here's
There we go. All
Zonimus.
right.
Why did you
Great
say
wise.
That's the phrase
I
that
was.
gets you in. That's awesome.